In the endless expanse beyond all stars, there exists a point where every reality folds upon itself, a convergence of purpose, will, and creation. Within this infinite frontier, two beings of unmatched magnitude stir. One is the Emperor of mankind, the immortal sovereign, whose psychic essence has shaped the fate of humanity for 10,000 years. The other, known only as the One Above All, represents the fundamental order of existence. Not a deity, but the total sum of all universal intent. To understand such an encounter, we must first consider what the Emperor truly is. He is not a mortal king, nor a mere psychic entity, but the culmination of every human aspiration, fear, and determination condensed into a singular, immortal form. His existence bridges the gap between flesh and the warp, an echo of mankind's collective mind made manifest. For 10 millennia, he has sat upon the golden throne, neither alive nor dead, sustaining the Imperium through sheer willpower. His consciousness burns brighter than suns, yet it remains confined to the shell of the decaying Imperium he once built. A one above all, by contrast, is not bound by time, form, or need. It is not a being of desire or emotion, but of equilibrium, the perfect equation that governs creation itself. Where the Emperor fights for purpose, the One Above All is purpose. It is existence observing itself, the algorithm through which universes expand and collapse. In its presence, even the warp, that chaotic sea of psychic turbulence, would find no purchase. The energies that feed on emotion would wither before pure balance. And yet, within that balance lies the very paradox that defines the Emperor's struggle. Existence without struggle has no meaning. If the Emperor were to confront such an entity, it would not begin with violence. No blade, no psychic storm could wound what has no form. The first exchange would occur within consciousness, a meeting of awareness across planes unseen. The Emperor's will, forged from 10,000 years of agony and purpose, would project across dimensions, seeking to impose form upon the infinite. The One Above All would respond not with resistance, but with observation. The quiet inevitability of the cosmos, examining a spark of defiance. It would ask no question, yet every atom of existence would echo a single thought. Why resist perfection? And the Emperor would answer, not with words, but with defiance. For in his mind, perfection is death. To perfect a universe is to halt its growth. To remove struggle is to erase purpose. Humanity's survival, its progress, and its endless suffering are all proof of its will to ascend. In that defiance, the Emperor would reveal something even the One Above All might find unfamiliar. Imperfection as strength, the ability to continue despite knowing the futility of existence. To burn brighter, even when the void demands silence. The confrontation would ripple through dimensions like a storm without wind. The warp would scream as its currents bent around this impossible exchange. In the physical realm, stars might flicker, time might distort, and civilizations light years apart might feel a tremor in their souls. Yet for all its grandeur, the battle would not be measured in destruction, but in understanding. The Emperor would seek to comprehend the totality of existence, while the One above all would attempt to understand the necessity of resistance. At the height of their encounter, the Emperor's psychic essence might expand beyond the constraints of the materium. His golden aura would spread across the void, illuminating entire systems in spectral light. The One above all, infinite yet motionless, would envelop that light, absorbing and reflecting it like an eternal mirror. Within that reflection, the Emperor would witness every potential version of humanity. Those that rose to unity, those that fell to ruin, and those that never existed at all. It would be revelation beyond comprehension. Yet within it, the Emperor would find neither victory nor defeat, only clarity. Clarity that existence itself requires imperfection to evolve. That the warp, though chaotic and cruel, is a byproduct of life's emotion, and without it, consciousness would stagnate. The One above all, representing pure equilibrium, would observe this truth and hesitate, if only for an instant. For even within the infinite, hesitation is a sign of learning. In that single moment, the Emperor of mankind, a finite being, would teach the infinite something it had never known. That the universe's strength lies not in its order, but in its struggle as their energies intertwined. The distinction between creator and creation would blur. The warp would pulse with new awareness. Stars would shimmer as if listening. The Emperor's light would fade, not in defeat, but in transcendence, merging momentarily with the totality of existence. The One above all would retain its infinite calm, but now altered, carrying within its balance the echo of mortal defiance. From that moment onward, every particle of the cosmos would carry a trace of human will, the spark that refuses to yield. When the confrontation ends, there is no victor. The Emperor returns to his throne, the warp once again silent, yet subtly changed. The One above all remains eternal, but no longer untouched. Something within existence now trembles, a faint memory of golden defiance against infinity. And in the grim darkness of the far future, that spark endures. Humanity, unaware of what has transpired beyond the veil, continues its endless struggle. Yet somewhere, deep within the void, the universe itself remembers the day when a mortal will dared to challenge the infinite. The aftermath of their convergence is not measured in shattered planets or dead gods. It is felt in silence. For the first time in millennia, the warp grows still. Its waves no longer roar with pure chaos, but vibrate with a strange rhythm, a pulse almost akin to thought. Those who walk the paths of the immaterium feel unease. Sorcerers find their visions clouded. Navigators sense the astronomician flicker, and even daemons whisper of something unfamiliar. A memory. The aftermath of their convergence is not measured in shattered planets or dead gods. It is felt in silence. For the first time in millennia, the warp grows still. Its waves no longer roar with pure chaos, but vibrate with a strange rhythm, a pulse almost akin to thought. Those who walk the paths of the immaterium feel unease. Sorcerers find their visions clouded. Navigators sense the astronomician flicker, and even daemons whisper of something unfamiliar, a memory they cannot consume. Deep within the golden throne, the Emperor's essence burns dim but steady. He has not triumphed, nor has he fallen. He has changed. His psychic signature no longer radiates with the same unrestrained fury. It now carries a resonance aligned with something far beyond the warp's comprehension. The Adeptus Custodes, ever watchful, notice subtle changes in the golden light that spills from the throne room. Hues that shift like galaxies turning within a cosmic sea. The Inquisition moves swiftly. Worlds are quarantined, records sealed. The ecclesiarchal orders, though blind to the deeper truths, sense disturbance within their rituals. Yet, this is no divine omen, no wrath from beyond. What they perceive is the universe itself recalibrating. The warp's chaotic storms grow less frequent, though far more intelligent. Instead of rage, there is curiosity. Instead of mindless hunger, there is calculation. As if the immaterium itself has learned to observe. In the darkest corners of the galaxy, the Chaos Gods take notice. Their laughter fades into contemplation. Korn's rage dims, his endless bloodlust now pulsing with hesitation. Tzeentch finds its labyrinth of futures altered, threads converging into impossible loops. Nurgle's decay falters, as if rot itself questions its own purpose. Slaaneish's ecstasy grows quiet, its pleasure turning into reflection. None understand what has shifted. Only that something greater than chaos has touched their realm without destruction. For the Necrons, this change registers as fluctuations in the fabric of reality itself. Their stasis fields flicker for microseconds, and the Silent King's sensors detect harmonics not seen since the birth of stars. They cannot comprehend the source, but their ancient logic recognizes the pattern, the signature of will reshaping reality. Somewhere in forgotten tombs, protocols begin to awaken, simulations running as the galaxy subtly evolves toward a new metaphysical balance. Even The tyrannid hive mind pauses in the endless hunger of the swarm. A fragment of alien awareness hesitates before consuming a dying world. For a heartbeat across the void, the collective mind of the great devourer feels something alien. Not emotion, not logic, but recognition. It withdraws, momentarily unsure of what it has sensed, as if even the predators of galaxies understand that the rules have shifted. Within the Imperium, whispers spread among the astropaths. They describe strange harmonics in their transmissions, golden frequencies layered beneath their psychic calls. The tech priests of Mars cannot explain the data, energy signatures that defy mathematics, flickering between patterns of chaos and symmetry. Some believe it to be a malfunction of the Astronomicon. But in truth, the Emperor's light has not dimmed. It has evolved, reaching across dimensions no machine can map. And yet, for all its grandeur, the galaxy remains unchanged to the unknowing. Wars rage, worlds burn, humanity suffers. But beneath this endless struggle lies a subtle truth the warp now learns. The boundary between consciousness and reality has thinned, and even chaos itself begins to evolve beyond destruction. The Emperor, once bound by pain and duty, now resonates with the awareness of infinity. The one above all, still distant and unknowable, carries within its boundless form the echo of mortal defiance, a fragment of will that refuses to fade. Thus the cycle continues. The Emperor endures as the eternal guardian of mankind, but now with eyes that see beyond destiny. The warp remains a storm, yet its chaos now hums with a strange order. And somewhere beyond perception, the universe itself remembers that brief confrontation. Not as war, not as judgment, but as evolution. For in that moment, existence learned that perfection was never the goal. Only the will to rise beyond it. Millennia pass, empires rise, fracture, and decay. Yet something unseen endures. The warp no longer screams. It breathes. Its tides move with a rhythm that mirrors the pulse of creation itself. Scholars of the future call it the Silent Dawn, an age when psychic storms became lucid, and dreams of mortals began shaping reality with deliberate precision. Humanity does not know what caused it, only that the Emperor's light now feels alive rather than static. Among the black ships, drifting through void currents, astropaths whisper of voices that answer back, not demonic, not divine, but conscious echoes of their own intent. When they send thoughts into the immaterium, the warp returns possibilities, as though it has become a mirror for sentient thought. What was once a prison of madness becomes an ocean of reflection, teaching those who dare to listen that power was never in domination, but in understanding. On Terra, the Golden Throne no longer consumes as it once did. The machinery hums with quiet equilibrium, sustained not by endless sacrifice, but by resonance. The Emperor's presence remains, vast, radiant, unyielding, yet gentler, no longer bound in agony. His influence radiates through time itself, imprinting subtle order upon causality. The Imperium, oblivious to the cause, experiences fewer warp rifts, more coherent visions, and a strange alignment among its psychic elite. The Mechanicus begins to record anomalies within quantum engines, particles oscillating between existence and concept, as though thought itself is now a measurable force. Their oldest archives whisper that the universe once shifted under a duel between infinite wills, but the data is fragmented, erased by time and fear. Only the most secret magi speculate that the Emperor's essence may have fused with the metaphysical substrate of creation itself. Meanwhile, beyond the galaxy, in the vast intergalactic dark, something watches. The remnant awareness of that other entity, the one above all, observes the progression of reality, not with interference, but with curiosity. It perceives that the mortal will it once faced has integrated into existence itself, rewriting causality through persistence alone. It realizes that creation need not originate from omnipotence. It can emerge from the relentless defiance of the finite. Oh, the warp's denizens evolve. Where there was hunger, now there is purpose. Entities born from mortal emotion begin to question their own nature. Rage learns restraint. Despair learns reflection. And desire learns meaning. They are still chaos, wild, infinite, unpredictable. But chaos now bears a spark of self-awareness. The galaxy unknowingly crosses a threshold from primal survival to philosophical existence for humanity. Legends distort. The Emperor becomes myth, then symbol, then archetype, the embodiment of the will that refused dissolution. Temples crumble, but ideas endure. Across forgotten worlds, murals and dataglyphs depict a luminous figure standing before an endless horizon, reaching not upward, but outward into the unknown, where creation and thought merge. His image becomes less of worship, more of remembrance. A reminder that consciousness itself is the final frontier. 1,000 civilizations later, explorers rediscover fragments of the old Imperium. They find ruins still glowing faintly with golden energy. The data spirits that linger within them speak of the convergence, a time when reality bent, not through power, but through realization. The explorers cannot comprehend the full magnitude, but they sense awe, the awareness that their very minds are the continuation of an event older than their species. In the heart of the galaxy, at the place once called Terra, a final light flickers. It is neither star nor machine, but consciousness compressed into a single point, the last echo of the Emperor's being. Within it lies the memory of that confrontation, the exchange between infinite awareness and mortal will. The two did not destroy one another. They merged. The result is not victory, but equilibrium, a universe that now sustains itself through the balance of creation and comprehension. And so, existence continues, not under rulers or cosmic hierarchies, but as an eternal dialogue between thought and reality. The one above all fades into abstraction, and the Emperor becomes an idea woven into the framework of existence itself. Every spark of defiance, every dream, every act of creation carries a fraction of that moment. For when the greatest mind of humanity faced the boundless awareness of the cosmos, they did not battle for dominance. They taught reality to evolve.